Hi, everyone, and welcome to the NJCAA Match of the Week for Call of Duty. We're here in Week 7 of competition, which is the last week for this Call of Duty season for the NJCAAE. And we've got a match between Trinity Valley and Laredo today. Both coming into this night having some pretty good performances over the season. Trinity Valley has a four win, 2 loss record, and then Laredo coming through with a clean 6-0. So Laredo is going to be looking to defend that record, and Trinity Valley is going to be looking to get another win on their plate. How are you feeling about this, Unsolved?
I I'm feeling great. I cannot wait to get into some action. Um, I have no idea what to expect. All I know is when I'm looking at these two squads, all I know is they're pretty good. These squads have put in some work, they're putting some practice. But when I'm looking at Laredo College, man, the Titans, they're still roaming. They still doing a thing.
Yeah, they've been having some pretty good performances. We got to see them on this stream last semester with a pretty solid 3-0 victory against Gogabik CC. So definitely excited to see how they perform here tonight. But without further ado, we've got our rosters on screen here. Laredo, almost the exact same roster as they had last semester, so a lot of the same names coming through, ready to get things going here. But let's take a look at our maps here.
Well. Kicking this off with a nice skyline hardpoint. Of course, you're going to hit with double protocol and then Hasi ended from map 4 and rewind from map 5. Honestly, when I'm looking at this map 1, if quick engagements and you're going to see a lot of different routes being hit, but most of all, you got to show off what you can do in such a nice size map. What are your thoughts on this map? Guffy, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, should be loading into this Skyline hardpoint in just a sec, so this should be a good starting point for us to figure out exactly where these teams are standing right now. It is worth noting that both the protocol picks here were from the Trinity Valley side, so I'm going to assume that that's more of their comfort pick when it comes to maps. Meanwhile, Laredo going with Skyline and Rewind on their Hardpoint and Search and Destroy picks, respectively. We at least got some good variety. I've definitely seen some Call of Duty series with more repetitive map choices, where it's like we get 2 of one map and 3 of another. So nice to see we have a little more variety on deck for us today. But if this series goes as short as it could be, we're only get to see 2 maps, Skyline and Protocol.
Well, I don't know what to expect here, but honestly, when I think of Skyline Hardpoint, I'm usually thinking of okay, which which teamer is going to have that extra AR to boost to hit the spots that needs to be hit. Rotation wise, we're when we're thinking about Hardpoint, we're thinking about trying to bust the hills, especially when we get to that P1 and that P4. Man, those are the when I look at those are the money making hills. And then of course you have showers where it's a scrap out battle behind that main main patio area. But hey, let's get right into it.
Yeah, all right. So far seems like a pretty standard rollout for the teams. You've got 7, 8, and 6 moving out onto the point here. Number 2 seeming to take that position below, but you already got some action onto the point. 1 kill for each team here going on. We've got number 6, Fluke Droop, trying to get some good coverage, and it looks like with the way spawns have played out, we've got Laredo College coming in from behind, trying to take some space back themselves. Bit of a scuffle on the point, but Mats comes out on top, able to start getting up more and more time in favor of the Laredo team here, and again, kind of throwing the momentum back in the Cardinals' favor, as now we got a lot of presence for them.
Oh yeah, Misa starting off already with the 3-0. And honestly, that's pretty good when you're starting off that strong. I know there are trades going back and forth, trying to secure the spot for this hard point. But hey, we got a two-piece in the feed coming on out, and hey, we got the extra one from good old number 4. He's on the 3 streak right now, and man, starting out strong.
Yeah, it is worth noting that if my understanding of the league rules are correct, this league does allow for use of some higher score streaks, so we could potentially see some pretty exciting stuff. We got Misa going on a 4 streak right now, number 3 overall up there holding the hard point. His team, fortunately, is going to get taken down here, but still pretty good performance from him so far. Looks like Trinity are trying to find their way in on the point here. But Laredo's defense is staying strong. Ooh, really nice drop double from Mats over there. Now needs to get rid of number 5 over here. And he does. Beautiful 3-piece, keeping the point alive for Laredo so far and keeping themselves in the lead.
Wow, what a nice 3-piece there. And hey, we're getting set up for this next point here. That's going to be at kitchen. So hey, let's see what team can hit that spot first. But Floop with 3 already before getting traded out.
Great stuff from Floop. Looks like we're already seeing both of these teams kind of have their top performers come out the woodwork here. Got Misa with 10 and 5 and Floop with 11 and 6. Both similar performances so far, and it seems like they're the guys who are going to need to carry the rest of the teams on their backs when it comes to putting up these numbers.
Oh, that's one thing for sure I can say. Misa with 2 in the feed already. Misa 12 and 5 after the first 2 hills. Cardinals trying to break it right back in. But hey, another 2-piece coming in from Rubio here. But hey, shoot, 4 down in the feed.
Yeah, the Palominos putting in some great work there, clear things out. Fortunately, Misa's going to get caught out here, and Matt's as well off screen, going to be taken down. Looks like Cardinals are trying to square up for control of this next point, and the spawns are going to favor them there. You can see that number 8, number 6 are spawning up on the east side of the map, so they should be able to take a lot of control here. Number 4, Deluvio, is going to try and take some control here, but we got on the flank, able to take him down there. So it seems like a pretty even scenario right now. How does it look for you? That's all.
Ooh, man, this is going to be one scrappy hill. Misa with 2 already, but honestly, this is one of those points where, like, if you don't secure the back spawns, you can spawn your opponents way across the other side of the map here. See, Palminos already in the good spot, but Cardinals trying to break it back right in. Ooh.
Yeah, Laredo definitely seems to have the better gunny in a lot of these situations, and it's definitely showing on the team score right now. 116 to 57. Laredo winning by about a factor of 2. Still 10 seconds of this next point, and it does seem like the Cardinals have better position to start holding it. Spawns are continuing to put the Laredo team on that east side of the map. So as long as Cardinals are able to maintain control the way they're doing right now, they should be able to start creeping up to catch up to the Palomino scoreline. Beautiful play from Deluvio here. Nice drop onto the point, getting a quick 2-piece, clearing out the point for his team.
Ooh, man. 16 and 10. Meanwhile, Misa is 18 and 9. Just after the first set of rotations, Misa gets caught out here. Dud is trying to do his best with this going on this 3 streak here. And honestly, man, some of these players are just going back and forth at it.
Yeah, Fluke Droop over here, kind of on his lonesome amongst all these Laredo players. Almost was able to win that gunfight with the drop, but not going to be able to at the end of the day. Smiley up on the balcony here, getting some good sight lines onto the point. We got number 5 sitting below, maybe trying to influence the spawns a bit here. You can see, got the Cardinals spawning on the east side of the map, Laredo spawning on the west. And looks like number 5 is able to use the zip line up to sneak onto the point. Not going to be able to win the gunfight with Smiley, though. He's not expecting him to come up from the elevator shaft. So continuing to be a solid performance from the side of Laredo here, although that's not to say that the Cardinals aren't putting up a good fight.
Dude, hey, Cardinals, they're trying to do the best they can over here. Number 2 is on a 5 right now. See if he can hit the streaks.
Yeah, Smiley.
And honestly,
like
Rangers at 7 and 21 right now. Matt's picking it up as well.
Yeah, continuing to see some good gunny from the Palominos over here. Unfortunately, Smiley going to lose that fight, and thus the chance of a score streak. Corrupted Newt getting another kill off screen. Never going to be taken down by Misa. Still overall good point control from the Laredo side here, and Deluvio holding it down on the point, getting rid of Floop as he tries to slide in and go for the saving play. Next point coming up in 3 seconds over here. Looks like Trinity Valley has the initial control so far, and now the Laredo team has to scramble and pinch them.
Yeah. the break is coming on through at least. Ranger. Yeah, he's having to struggle over here. He's get caught out by Misa. 80-23 as of now. But hey, we gotta see something from these guys. I'm not saying they're not putting up a fight, but sheesh. Come on, guys. I know they got it in them. I know they do.
Oh yeah, it looked like Deluvio seemed to be aware of his opponent's position there, but unfortunately, the looked like a flashbang concussion. I'm not entirely sure was able to slow him down a bit and open him up for the opposing team to take him down. Nice range kills from the Palominos here, keeping control of that hard point, but 12 seconds left going into this P1, I believe. No, sorry, east side point. Seems a bit more of a mixy point here, as we got pretty even control of the map.
This map is something else. Misa was on a 7th streak before dying. Man, they started out powerful.
Gutbeer over there getting the 3K so far. Good performance from him, able to ensure his team's able to hold on to this point for a little bit, but look at that scoreline at the top. 233 on the side of Laredo, just 17 more seconds on the point, and they're going to be able to close out this map 1.
Oh, wow. Number 3 and number 4 are both sitting at 30. Letting the teammates just collect this hill time. And hey, we're closing out on the map 1. Okay, got the late break-in, apparently. Misa just doing it, trying to break it back in.
And Misa trying to close it out, but unfortunately not going to be able to. Defense looking pretty strong for the Cardinals right now. Should be able to close out this point, but look at that P1. Laredo is all over it. Cardinals are going to need to move really fast if they want to stop their take here, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
No, apparently not. That's map 1 in the books.
Good performance from Laredo so far. Definitely kind of showing us what we came to expect from them after seeing them last season. 251-17 scoreline is certainly nothing to scoff at, but I've definitely seen bigger leads before, so that's not to say that Trinity Valley isn't putting up a fight. Especially saw a couple of their players coming up big on the scoreboard. We see this nice little play from Gutbeer here, getting what I believe was the 3-piece. Getting this nice flank on Deluvio and ensuring control of this point here.
Wow, 32 and 15 out of Misa. Number 3 and number 4 just putting in the work. On the other side for the Cardinals, 10 kills out of Ranger there. It was struggle map for the player.
Yeah, some good performances from Gutbeer and Floop Droop, though, on the side of the Cardinals. Those were kind of the ones really putting up the numbers there, while Newt and Ranger on the team were putting up way more hill time. So it seems they at least kind of understand what they want their roles to be. If we look back on the numbers for the Palominos on that first map, it seems like Misa was exclusively going to play for kills and control the map, because unless there's any glitch going on here, it looks like he only had 6 seconds of hill time, while the rest of his team had over a minute and a half each. So it does seem like both of these teams have their roles pretty well figured out for the sake of this series, at least for this first map on Hardpoint. But moving into the Search and Destroy, how do you think these teams are going to be changing things up?
Well, all I'm looking for is who is going to hit the plant first. Who's going to play their spots right? And when I'm looking at protocol here, I'm looking at who's going to play that helicopter side, who's going to watch that B side, and most of all, who's going to watch the control that's underground. I know there's a lot of players that like to focus on that A side a lot, but I just want to know who's going to hit that control spot.
Yeah, well, definitely interesting to see. I think Protocol Search and Destroy can be pretty interesting because of that multi-leveled center of the map, especially with one of the points being down there. Again, it kind of makes for some pretty interesting play. Feels like you can kind of mix up your opponents a bit if you're playing on the elevator shaft on the one side of the map and the spiral staircase on the other. Maybe hopping down to try and catch an opponent by surprise, provided you don't just up and die from fall damage. Yeah, overall, I think it should be a pretty fun match for us to watch. Just need to wait on the teams to prepare the server for that one. But yeah, overall, seems like a pretty good series so far. Again, not super one-sided. Nice to be seeing Trinity Valley continuing to put up a fight here, and just hoping they can continue to keep that momentum going for themselves in this next map.
Oh yeah, they came out strong in the map 1. I'm gonna have to give it to them.
Yeah,
Trinity,
definitely.
I can't wait to see the bounce back from Ranger. I know Ranger had a tough one that map 1. Again, it was 10 and 28. I think it was.
I think so. Yeah, 10 and 28.
But yeah. I would love to see how he makes a bounce back in this map 2. Who's yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Again, we should be getting into this lobby real soon, but in the meantime, we're going to go to a quick break, and in a couple of minutes, we'll be right back with you for map number 2. Welcome back, everybody, to the NJCAA Esports Call of Duty Black Ops 6 match of the week. We've got Laredo. We just saw them took that map 1 over on Skyline, and now we are coming into a map 2 Search and Destroy. This one is going to be Trinity Valley's pick, so I'm curious to see if they're maybe a little bit more comfortable on this map with the Search and Destroy and with the Control, which we'll see up next. What are your thoughts on Solved?
Well, like you said, it could be their most comfortable pick. It could be the one they're trying, or they could be the one they're trying to improve on. Anyway, but hey, Protocol, a map where it's a pretty big map, but also you can make some pretty good plays on it. When it comes down to Search and Destroy, you gotta hit the routes. There's so many different lanes you can pick, so many different routes you can hit. Who's going to be watching that helicopter side, or who's going to hit the underground and hit the control, plant at A? Hey, who's going to go on a killing spree?
Yeah, I think you make a good point. There are a lot of really unique angles that the layout of this map has, and that should prove to be pretty interesting for us. We'll have to see.
Oh yeah, cannot wait to see what's going to happen here. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, should be getting in here in just a second. We do have the Laredo side starting up on the attack. Is worth noting that unfortunately we do have the minimap bug, meaning numbers are going to be a little bit glitched out, so that may unfortunately lead to the kill feed being a bit glitched, but we'll have to move along with what we got. So far it looks like 2 eliminations from the side of Cardinals, another one from Laredo going to even things out. It's a 2v2 right now. All right, Misa going to be taken down by Ranger.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see, 2 kills for number 4 over here.
Yeah,
he's on 2 spree right now.
Moving around, does have that 2 speed like you said, so if he's able to pick up these last 2, win the round, that'll be a really great start for him. Was actually talking with him a little bit before the match and was asking, hey, how you been enjoying Black Ops 6? And he's like, I haven't been that crazy about it, but my teammates are movement feed, so they seem to be enjoying it. He doesn't seem to know that Cutbeer is over on the side there, going to be able to get the nice flank. Good positioning from the side of Cardinals for that first round.
I think I just said it before the map happened. Who's going to watch that helicopter side? What a great play out of Gut to just wait for the opponent instead of going for that kill.
Yeah, really showing you know your stuff, because I'll be honest, as much as this game that I've seen, that wasn't one of the angles I would initially think about, but they're just proving you right, I guess. Now we do have Laredo on the defense this time. Seems like a pretty standard rollout so far. Most of the Cardinal side are going to be moving through mid. Laredo's pretty spread out, trying to take map control. Looks like it's a full push onto this bottom A site. Already got some grenades coming out. No kills just yet, though, but Cardinal squad seems to be moving in pretty quickly. We do have number 2 on the outside there, trying to get an angle into the A site. Might be able to do something here.
But guy gets caught out. Misa gets 2. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was fast.
Quick wipe, yeah. Dang. Yeah, I guess there's not really much to be said. They just kind of did that. Laredo continuing to look dominant in this search, or I shouldn't say continuing because it was the Cardinals that took it. Rather, in this round looking dominant, continuing to look dominant in the series after their performance on that first map.
What was that of Misa? And his teammate just putting in both of the kills to make that round happen. Ah, man.
All right, coming into this next round. Seems like Misa continuing to keep things up. I do think, unfortunately, the top scoreboard is glitched. Call of Duty giving us that true professional sheen there. But onto this, got a nice long angle from Misa here. Needs to be careful that he doesn't open himself up too much to the left, but looks like Ranger's going to disengage from there. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have a couple kills from one from Deluvio and one from Smile, respectively. Putting that orange into the feed. There'll be another one from Smile. Should be a pretty easy plant onto this A site. Number 8 left on his Losum in the 1v4.
Okay. Yeah, Ranger, he's got a lot of work to put in. See what he can do.
Spotted out Mats, but unfortunately Mats is going to turn a little bit quicker and win that gunfight there. Good reaction time from what seems to be one of the star players from Laredo.
see why I call him a star player for a reason. Man's reaction time was something else. First off, the 2 kills in the last round before that, and then now the ace in this one to just shut it down. Got another round coming up, and hey, let's see what happens here.
Yep. All right, looks like the Cardinals on their offense are going for more of a left route. Deluvio and Matt's going to clean him up top. Nice angle from Deluvio up there, able to score another kill, and his teammate going to finish the job. Just a clean team wipe from Laredo. It does not seem like they're slowing down much.
No, they picked up the pace from the last map and just carried on to this one. Man, Matt's coming in from just hitting the right routes, going through Lighthouse to get that one.
Even little spin around just to add the cherry on top there. But yeah, I think after that first round, it really seems that Laredo has just regained full control of this map here.
Oh yeah, a full team streak coming out of Laredo right now. Cardinals is straight struggling.
Oh, Matt's unfortunately not going to be able to get the confirm off of that angle. Deluvio going to get traded out off screen. Still going to try and maintain this middle map control. Smiley going to take out 2 in mid-map, and now we got Floop Troop in the 1v3 situation. Over by helicopter. Let's see what he's able to do, if anything. It's a tough situation to be in. I'm not sure if they figured it out yet, although it looks like they have. They seem to be looking in his direction. Able to win the gunfight against Misa. Needs to take cover and heal up right now. Smiley in a good position. Going to start playing aggressive, trying to get into the helicopter, but Floop going to move out. I don't know if he was spotted just yet. Number 3, Matt's over there in the underground area. I think Floop might be gearing up for a move onto the A site.
Got the C9 in hand. See what he can do with it.
Oh, I was going to say, is he going to guess Matt's position? But it looks like the other player from the Palomino is able to get that angle on him and clean it up pretty easily.
Matt, again, coming in clutching up on these rounds.
Kind of makes me wonder if his teammate noticed that he was down there and suggested to just play aggressively onto that position. But either way, good awareness from the Palominos. Search and destroy can definitely get a little bit, I feel like can trigger the nerves for some players when you're in these situations where a death is going to cost you a lot more than just a little bit of loss of control, but rather potential entire loss of a round. It's I do feel like it's a lot more pressure on some of these players, but it seems like many of them are holding up just fine. We are going to get the plant onto the A site from the Cardinals here. See how this plays out.
First blood finally for Cardinals. Let's see if they could capitalize on this. Smiley's on his 6th streak. Just running the show. Ranger finally getting into the mix. All right. Smiley in a 1v4 situation.
All right, Smiley trying to take on the spiral staircase here. Can he make it happen for his team, or is this going to be the Cardinals win? Looks like it. Unfortunately, his target choice isn't the right one, as the player he's shooting away from is going to get the free shots onto him.
Round they needed the most. The round they really needed to get themselves back into this one.
Yeah, this might be a pivotal round for the Cardinals here. Going up 2-4 after 1-4, so they are going to be breaking the Palomino streaks here, which is good news for them. Looks like a nice team ace from their side too. 1 kill from every player, if I'm reading that right. Still, though, this doesn't mean the Palominos are all gone just yet. Misa making a play for the A site here. Doesn't look like the Cardinals have taken any control, but look at that. Smiley, number 2, on the flank. Trying to get up into the Cardinals building there. Going to get a kill onto number 5. Can he continue the streak? At least able to get out safely. Up here might have an angle on him, but he's not going to poke outside. Doesn't realize these players are out there. Does spot Smiley over here. Going to go for the aggressive play, but unfortunately Deluvio's right behind him. Beautiful positioning from the side of Laredo College, and now you got Floop Troop once again in a 1v4 situation. Let's see how he's able to handle this.
No, I think it was the fall damage that really really put the nail in that death, honestly.
Oh, I think
Dang.
he was trying to go back up the zip line, but either it was on some sort of cooldown or he wasn't able to do it while reloading. Either way, unfortunate circumstance for him to lose there, because otherwise it seemed like a pretty good situation. No, it's actually Deluvio getting the flank kill on him. Just good use of the numbers advantage there, getting these controlling angles, pretty much giving the Cardinals no way out. Now 5-2 for the Palominos. That's one more round, and it's going to take the second map for them.
They are talking about putting on a clinical show right now. Palominos, they are running away with it. Misa, I know the whole scoreboard is kind of looking wacky, but Smiley right now is tearing it up. And speaking of tearing it up, gets a first blood on the
Matt's
gut
pulling out the
there.
cheeky RCXD here. Can he actually get anything done with it? This is going to be a 2v3 right now. Ranger does spot it out and is able to get it destroyed. Good stuff from him, maintaining that awareness. Now we have Ranger and Newt trying to defend the point here. We're going to get that first pick. Almost gets the double kill from Ranger, but unfortunately not going to be able to. And even if he did have the other player coming onto the flank there. So this map is as good as done in Laredo's favor.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Okay. So starting off with Smiley getting the two-piece in this round before getting traded out. And then you have the RC that's trying to cause disruption in their setup. And honestly, I think that was a very good use of the RC. Not really to focus on getting kills, but more like getting a setup in there. Man, 6 non-traded kills out of Smiley. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, continuing to see a strong performance from Laredo, even more of a difference in team performance than I think we saw in the hard point, which makes sense. In this round-based game mode, you lose a little bit of momentum, you might just lose the round. So it's still not too crazy of a result. We do have the Cardinals playing a couple of rounds very well, getting those opening picks, maintaining good map control, and then taking full advantage of the numbers they have over Laredo once it gets to that point. But moving on to this control, there's another protocol. This is also Trinity Valley's pick. So this is their last chance to stay in the series.
Last chance indeed, my friend. Yeah, protocol control. Look, when it comes down to control on this specific map, you know you have to play at a pace that kind of fits you and your team. If you have to pull out a third submachine gun on this map, you may have to do it, or at least a third AR. Because from what I've been seeing from Trinity Valley is they're not really they know how to push, but they're not really playing each other's angles really well. And that's just me being completely from what I've seen so far in that map and shoot in the search and destroy, honestly. And I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm just saying they playing them angles is what's going to help them out in a lot of these situations. And honestly, I love from what I saw out of Laredo when they're playing when they hit that A bomb, they worked under control, playing together, and then you have two. I think it was Matt and Delivio both hitting the flanks when they absolutely need to hit the clutch mode on a lot of a lot of the rounds in that search and destroy. That was immaculate.
Yeah, just Laredo continuing to do their stuff. Again, I think Misa and Smiley kind of being the two big names on their team when it comes to putting up the kills. But that's not to say that the other guys on their team aren't good. I mean, I think we've seen a lot of good stuff from both Deluvio and from Ben, I believe. Or sorry, from Matt's. I'm getting confused here. That's my bad. But yeah, I mean, just again, good stuff from the Laredo side so far. And should be getting to this map real soon.
Oh man, man, oh man. Let's see what can happen in map 3. Look, may not be in this specifically, but I've seen some insane reverse sweeps. I've seen some insane reverse sweeps before. In my time of watching a bunch of Call of Duty esports, I've seen a bunch of insane reverse sweeps. So hey, if they win this protocol, get some momentum back on their side, Trinity Valley can put up on a show. But going up against a team that is currently 6-0 and you see their performances, I don't know how you're going to pull that off. I don't know how you're going to.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty tough situation. Again, as we were saying earlier, the Laredo squad, they have the clean 6-0 record in the season so far. They definitely proven themselves to be the just the dominant force in their section of the league. Definitely interested in seeing how they perform after once we get into playoffs, rather.
And that playoff, once you get to the playoffs, it's just going to be a showdown for sure. Ready to see what all the squads can put up together. And honestly, hey, let's see if Laredo can keep up the streak work, or let's see if someone just puts on a surprise and just be an underdog in this. I don't know what to expect when we get there, but hey, right now, let's just both we got what, like I said, this is week 7, so I don't know how much we got time before we got to the the playoffs, but all I do know is once we get there, I want to see a showdown.
Yeah, for sure. Looking should be getting into that map pretty soon. Again, I think we'll go to another quick break while we get that loaded up, but once we come back, we'll have map 3 ready for you guys. Be back in a sec. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the NJCAA Esports. Sorry, NJCAA Esports. Said it right that time. Match of the week for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, closing out the season here with this match between the Trinity Valley Cardinals and the Laredo Palominos. Laredo so far up 2-0 in the series. We've seen some great performances from them so far, and we were talking about it a little bit before the break, but Unsolved, how are you feeling about this next match?
Honestly, I'm feeling kind of nervous going to this protocol control here. I know Trinity Valley picked this map, but I want to see them. I want to see them get some momentum on their side. When I know they struggled in the first 2 maps, but I want to see them get some momentum on their side. I know I'm pretty sure they have it in them. They picked this map. I'm pretty sure. Hey, they just want to see some momentum on their side.
Yeah, I think that's really the name of the game for them is momentum. Especially after a few of those rounds we saw in the Search and Destroy. Yeah, we did see a couple of good rounds from Trinity Valley, like we were saying, but it seemed like when Laredo was able to get 1 round, they were able to get 2 or 3 more right after. And I mean, it could be a lot of things. Kind of the mental game can be part of it. When you are when you're performing really well against a team, they might be like, "Dang it, guys! Like we're out of this. We can't do it." And it's really important that when you're in these competitive situations, you're able to kind of reroute that attitude into something more positive, especially when you got somebody on your team that's calling the shots and able to kind of lead the squad. When they're out here, keeping everybody's morale up, that's super important for a team that's on the back foot to stay alive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It could all be a head game. It could be, I don't know. I don't know what it could be, but I know one thing for sure is once they find that momentum, that spark to get him back, it could be just one round that gets them that momentum. Shoot, Smiley was putting on a crazy performance, going on that 6th streak in the Search and Destroy, which I thought was crazy. And then you have one round that just took like what 40 something, like 20 something seconds, 30 something seconds like that. Just that's all. All it needs is maybe one round to get some momentum back on your side, and just carry it through.
Yeah, we should be getting to this map soon. We are loading up right now. I'm seeing the countdown timer to my side. Yeah, I mean, again, it's the ball is very much in the court of the Cardinals here to kind of take back some of the control, no pun intended, of this series. And it is important to note, we were just on Search and Destroy. We are now back into respawn modes. So the flow of the game is going to change up a little bit here. We're going to see a lot more action happening all the time. Maybe this might be more comfortable for the Trinity Valley side. But even if it is, even if they are able to take these next 2 maps, keep in mind that last map is going to be another Search and Destroy. But that all aside, we're getting started here. Got both teams rolling out. Palomino's starting on the defense. So far, 2 kills from Smiley, gonna open things up. 3 kills from Smiley. Misa gonna get the flank onto Newt as he's trying to take control of that building there. Look at the map. Look at how far up the Palominos are. They're trying to lock the Cardinals into their spawn. They want to make sure they have as little control of the map as possible. A nice grenade kill from Matt's gonna continue to keep that narrative going.
Yeah, Max is flying. Smiley started off with the 4-0 apparently before getting traded out. He's back at it again with a grenade kill. Yeah, yeah, Smiley is just putting on all sorts of pressure. The whole team is just pushed forward, but finally get something out of this from the Cardinals.
Yep, Fluke Troop able to secure some control onto A. Gonna get at least 1 tick here, it looks like. However, we already got some pressure coming in from the Palominos. Is able to continue getting that tick. We've got Mats on the flank here. Yep, here is aware, but unfortunately not going to be able to win the gunfight there despite the head glitch. Good shots from Mats, good accuracy. Keeping the crosshair on that head. Do have number 7 on the flank here behind 3 of them. Deluvio getting 1. Able to be taken down by Fluke Troop though, but Mats here to follow it up. Gets 1 as well. Got to be trying to find him. Mats, nice little slide kill. Able to keep things moving. Gonna catch Newt here as well. Nope. Newt able to win the gunfight. I think Matt stopped shooting a little early there. Maybe thought the fight was already over, but look at that timer. Look at the life counter. Despite the Cardinals' best efforts, it looks like this first round is going to Palominos. And that 2K from Deluvio is going to be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. When you start off a round, when your whole team is pushed up in enemy spawn, when you have Smiley going on these crazy streets to start that one off, yeah, I don't know how you're going to recoup from that one, but hey, wow, what a start. 8-4.
Yeah, definitely no signs of slowing from the Palominos here. Just keeping their heads in the game here. We do see some okay kill counts coming from Fluke Troop, Newt, and Gut, but once again, Ranger a little bit lower on the board there. Still, though, you know, not to say he's not doing anything. He's getting kill. He's kind of maintaining map control. You can see he's already on here to defend A site against the oncoming onslaught from the Palominos. Matt's going to get the first kill of the round on a Fluke Troop. Going to be heading up the elevator shaft here, try and take some control of the building behind the Cardinals. Beautiful flank kill onto Ranger. Should be able to get the follow-up, but Misa's got it first. Now going to be trying to do the same thing they were doing last round, just holding into the spawn. However, isn't aware of Fluke Troop, already getting up to the stairwell behind him and getting the freebie onto his back.
Oh, right. Yeah, some traders somewhat coming in. Matt's picking up 2. Man, R3 down for Cardinals. They're trying to get some control here of the map. But it's impossible when the entire team is just pushed all the way up in this spawn and just getting shut down at every place you get.
That was a little silly what we just saw there. I don't know if Newt just figured it wasn't worth trying to take the fight when he got other stuff to worry about, but teammate going to finish up. Bunch of action in the kill feed, though. Both some red and some yellow from the Palominos and Cardinals, not respectively, because I reversed the order there. But look at that. The Palominos already have that A site taken, and look at the map. Yeah, it's one of them left, but he's got control of B site. It's on the Cardinals to take him out. Fortunately, Ranger going to lose his gunfight here. Number 2 flying in. Going to lose to Misa's pistol. Really good stuff from Misa over here on the side of the Palominos. Continuing to keep the streak going.
Yeah, this will be a popping. But Gut is trying to. He gets taken out by a 3-piece coming in from Smiley. 14-7. Yeah, this man is putting on the show here on Protocol. Yeah, he's not stopping anytime soon. Max is also getting in the mix. Max on the 2, Smiley on the 3. And honestly, this whole team right now is capturing, putting on those, slaying. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
they're just farming kills at that point. I feel like they could have taken the point a little bit earlier. Maybe they were just trying to get some more streaks in. See this nice little 3-piece from Smiley on the best play here. Just good target switching, good awareness of what's going on. Just seems like there's not much the Cardinals can do at this point.
Nothing they can do. They're getting shut down every time we take a look. 10 seconds into the round, they're pushed up in their enemy spawn, trying to cut them down as fast as they can. You got Smiley, you got Misa, and Max, just playing that forward side, just trying to push him up. And yeah, Misa, Smiley, yeah, they're working together to take 3 down in there.
Yeah, Ranger able to slide in and get 1 there, but unfortunately not going to be able to get much else. I think the scoreboard at the top might be bugged again. Oh, goodness me, Call of Duty. But regardless, one thing that we do know is happening is that the Palominos are continuing to exert control over this game. A little bit less than the last couple of rounds we saw. The life count hasn't been that too spread out. Oh, Smiley not able to confirm either of these kills here, but gets both of them down to 1 shot, and so able to finish off Ranger pretty easily. Getting flanked by number 5. Matt's going to take him out on the flank. Number 1 and number 3 on the map there. Starting to move towards him. Going to try and take some control. Meanwhile, we've got Floop on the point there. Matt's continuing to get the streak going. Trying to move away from Gut here, but able to return fire there. Going to get the runaround. Just continuing to go here, but finally gets taken down. So Smiley seems to be taking turns with him going on a streak. Look at that. Says he's on a 10. Finally getting taken down, but now he's able to do that. He might have a couple things in the back pocket ready to really secure this this round.
Yeah, Smiley going on a 10 is what put the cap in this one. He comes back and he's already at it again. This man Smiley done died like 7 times in 3 rounds. That is insane. That is crazy how fast he started off this map. Misa's just going into yo. There's nothing they can do. 1.4 seconds. Clock is stopped.
And the missile gonna help secure that, at least off of B site. But we do still have Floop on A site, keeping that timer paused. But Deluvia about to get the flank on him, and that's gonna do it. 3-0 in favor of the Laredo Palominos to close out their NJCAAE Call of Duty regular season.
25-9 out of Smiley. What? That's basically like three deaths per round. That man got 19 non-traded kills, 2,000 damage, just going absolutely insane. Look at the defensive kills. 19 out of Smiley, 12. Oh my god. Yo, double digits for all of them. Whoa.
Yeah. Overall, just great performance from the side of Laredo here. Again, we did see them on this stream last season. Saw some pretty good stuff from them there, but yeah, I guess after that, it's nothing too crazy. Like, this is kind of what we expected from the team.
Yeah, when you're just that dominant, just taking names left, right, up and down. 7-0 now for Laredo College here. That is 7 straight out of this squad. The squad that's been here since last time they've been on here was against what, Gojabik?
Yeah.
And that chemistry, that team chemistry is something else. I don't know what to say. That is insane. Out of this squad, Misa putting up the finest of kills. You got Matt, and Delivio going on flanks trying to shut it down. Smiley doing the nasty work in protocol. You're talking a whole team being pushed up on the side all the way up to opponent spawn, just trying to shut them down at every chance you get. And Smiley on that last round, a 10 spree. That has to be the most dominating thing I've probably seen in a hot while. That is insane out of the young player right there.
Yeah, I mean, when it was time for the Cardinals to kind of take back control of the series, it just seemed like the Palominos said, "Nah," and sure enough, it was a great performance from them on that last round. And I think in a second here, we should be getting to ask Deluvio from the Palominos a few questions about how he was feeling match. Deluvio, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm doing good. That was a great performance from you guys to close out the regular season.
Appreciate that.
I do want to ask you. Remind me, are you kind of the shot caller, the IGL for your team, or does that role more so for another one of your players?
Last semester it was actually Benji who was our IGO. He was the shot caller. He was the one that would tell us what to do, where to play, and all of that. This season, it's more so on all of us now. So if, let's say, Misa has a certain way we want to play a certain map or a certain round that we have to play, he'll call it out, or Kevin, or Matt's, or me. So we're all pretty much IGO. None of us really take charge and anything like that. So yeah.
Oh, it makes sense. Makes sense. Do you think that flow has worked out well for you guys? It seems like you guys are able to adjust just fine, but have you come to kind of have any preference for one flow or the other, or are you guys just at this point confident you guys are able to adapt to these different scenarios and still be able to maintain an advantage over your opponents in the league here?
No, we're still able to play through it out, even though we don't have our actual IGO. I mean, how can I say? Like I said, we're able to adapt. It doesn't matter. Like, we don't need somebody that's just gonna strictly tell us like what to do all the time, like one specific person. Because at the end of the day, we all have our own ideas on how to play a map or how to play around. Like I said, um, it's not too bad. It's a good thing to get everyone else's opinion voiced, because like I said, what if Misa has a different way of playing the way that I do, or if Kevin has a different way of playing that I do, or I have a different way. It's all different, so it's a good thing to get everyone's opinion voiced, and that's how we're able to keep on going.
I like that a lot, actually. I think some squads can kind of struggle with flows like that because, maybe when there's a disagreement, it's difficult for people to just commit to one person's call. Because I think the downfall for a lot of teams is when there's that bit of confusion when there's like, I'm not sure if I should follow this guy or this guy, and then what ends up happening is you could have two really good calls, both good options, but if the team isn't committed to one or the other, it just doesn't work out.
Right.
So, Unsolved, you got any questions for Deluvio here?
I actually do. One question I do have is, what was the preparation like coming into this match? Actually, I have a couple, but that's the first one I want to.
Our preparation for this match, well, we usually start our games. We usually started off with a scrim just to get just to get our fingers warm and our hands warm and all of that. But we just came into the game like any other game throughout the season. Hopefully come out with a W, and that's what we did today.
I want to talk about your teammate Smiley.
Mm-hmm.
That man, that last round of protocol control, that was insane. To just the dagger, put the dagger right in that coffin. Goes on the 10 streak and then just whips out the missile. What was the team? How was the team feeling through that
Um,
whole?
we're feeling real good. I mean, Smiley or Kevin was actually mouse and keyboard last season, and he just did the transition onto controller this season. And at first, we were all kind of like, because last season he was, out of everyone that played in NJ, he was probably the best mouse and keyboard player that was there. So we were kind of at one point we are like, man, we kind of don't want you to give up the mouse and key because you're the best guy out there. But he's been able to transition into controller like perfectly. I mean, this man is dropping 40, 50 kills like it was nothing. It's like this man has been playing controller since he started playing video games in general. But Kevin's a big part of our team. I'm glad to have him on our team. Um, like I said, the whole transition of him going from mouse and key, you can't imagine how hard it is because I know him being predominantly M and K, and then to go to controller, and then the whole thing about aim assist and all of that. Like he was not used to with the whole aim assist thing. He's been able to adapt to that pretty good, and you guys saw it here.
That man is something special. I hope
Yeah,
you guys keep him.
He's an incredible player.
And because I know when I looked at the map one, man, Misa was just going off. I think he had 6 seconds in hill time, and he was just lighting it up.
He was playing team deathmatch out there.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you guys kind of have those roles pretty well ironed out, and I think definitely seemed, especially on that control, it seemed like you guys were very adamant about pushing forward, kind of trying to lock the enemy team into their spawn. Was that kind of your guys' plan from the start? Is that how you guys usually play control maps, or was that more of a just let's see if this approach works here?
So usually we'll play protocol control more. I wouldn't say calm, but we do hold more power positions rather than pushing their spawn too often. It just depends on how the other team is playing. I mean, if we know we can push their spawn pretty good, we're gonna do it regardless. But if we know the other team's putting up a good fight, we're gonna hold back and hold our power positions. But I mean, it's not something that we plan every day, going into protocol. But other than that, I mean, like I said, it just depends how the other team plays from the first round. If we defend first, or they play off, or they play offense, or we defend, or whatever, vice versa. It's just dependent on how they play and how we feel doing the spawn trap.
You guys were setting the pace. Oof. I'm talking about from map 1 all the way through map 3, talking about setting the pace, setting the tone. The rotations were so beautiful. And especially breaking hills at P4 and P5. I was like, whoa. Just hitting the right routes. And you have Max search and destroy, picking up clutches, hitting the flanks. Deluvio, man, was was that his job or something? Just hitting the flames, or was that just whose call was that? They just go for that.
That was entirely his call. I mean, like I said, we're not going to judge anybody for what they want to do. If they have a certain type of push they want to push, they can go ahead and do that. We're all comfortable with each other enough to trusting each other with a push or a flank or something. If Matt's going to play this way, if he's going to push P1 by himself, and we're all pushing that bottom bomb site, and he's gonna want to hit a flank, he'll call it out and he'll do it himself, and he'll get to it. I mean, this is, like I said, all of us, we all have enough trust in each other. We've been playing with each other for a semester since last season. We won the national championship for Modern Warfare 3 last season. Like I said, unfortunately, we're without Benji, but it's okay because we've been able to bring it back this semester with another successful clean sweep of a regular season. But like I said, we trust each other enough to let ourselves do our own thing sometimes, because sometimes we don't want to play as a team, but we understand that we have to most of the time. But like I said, I mean, it's up to, if they want to do a push, or if I want to do a push by myself, it's up to us.
All right. I don't have any more questions myself. Do you have any more, Guffy?
No, I think that's about it. I guess, one last thing I can ask you, the Classic, do you have any shout outs, anything you'd like to say to the audience here?
I want to shout out to Tengu, good friend of mine. He was watching today. Shout out my dad because he was also watching today. Shout out you guys for commentating. We appreciate you guys more than you know. But other than that, I mean, I'm good to go.
Word. Well, it was a pleasure having you on, man. Thanks for answering a couple of our questions, and best of luck in the playoffs.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Peace out. All right, so that'll do it for the series tonight. Clean 3-0 from the Laredo team. Again, nothing, not much different from what we saw last season. So, nice to see that they seem to have handled the transition from Modern Warfare 3 to Black Ops 6 pretty well. Still continuing to keep up the good performances. Can definitely see by the way some of them are moving around. They're taking advantage of that Omni movement, taking advantage of the new stuff in this game, and just based on what we're seeing, they already seem pretty confident on controlling these new maps and everything. I know I've heard some mixed opinions from the competitive community on the map offerings in Black Ops 6, but still got to play them well, and certainly that's what we see these guys doing. Any closing thoughts from you, Unsolved?
There's a couple of things I could say. First off, trying to be when you're said to be one of the best mouse keyboard players and you're transitioning to controller, I know it can be a tough change, but I feel like for that roster, and especially for the good old players over there, they seem they know what they're doing. They're taking advantage of, okay, we know that you're good at mouse and keyboard, but let's transition you to controller, and it seemed like they got that down pat. A 7-0 record, just a clean sweep. Man, this roster is something special. I remember watching them I remember when they were playing against Collegiate, and I was watching those guys as a viewer, and now I get to commentate. It's like, whoa, they put on a show. I love the chemistry they got going on. They're showing in. I love the amount of practice they're putting in. I just love seeing this. For Trinity Valley, it's a tough one, but I'm not going to count them out because they had some really good matches too. I'm not going to count them out. They had some really good series. I hope the roster makes the right changes. But hey, good luck to both squads, and let's see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on the how the playoffs play out. Again, it seems the Laredo squad is in high spirits, continuing to keep their momentum going from the last season to this one. They did mention they were the national champs last season, so they've definitely got the qualifications. They've kind of shown that already. So we'll have to see if they're able to do it again this season. But with that, that's pretty much it for us. Got to see Laredo again, that nice 3-0 sweep. I've been Guffy. I've been joined here by Unsolved, and we'll see you next time.